Ski Randolph Turpin of Great Britain takes on Belgian Victor Dace at the Sportsdrome Birmingham as part of his fight-a-month program. In the early rounds, Turpin seems to be taking his time, but here's a left followed by a right that sends both the boys off balance. Turpin sizes up his man and lets fly with a right that shakes the Belgian. Now the 5,000 crowd sees Dace try to force the fight. But watch how Turpin keeps himself out of trouble. Cool, poised and skillful, he isn't letting his opponent land any that do any damage. The fight enters the 6th round. Turpin's really in his stride and handing out the punishment. Belgian's beginning to weaken. Turpin moves in for the kill. A right hand to the kidneys, a flurry of blows, and down goes Dace. A count of 9 and the Belgian's on his feet. He's still pretty groggy from that attack. In comes the British boy again, pounding the Belgian. Out flashes Turpin's right hook. Dace is down. The ref shows him the count on his fingers, but Dace will never beat it. Dace tries to rise, but it's all over, and Turpin has won again. Maybe the Belgian boy wasn't up to Randy's standard, but he certainly gave the crowd a great fight, and showed he'd got all the pluck in the world. Middleweight champion of Great Britain and the Empire, Randolph Turpin looks all set for the world title. Randolph Turpin continues his fight-a-month program at Leicester against Dougie Miller, a South African. Randy shows his superior ringcraft during the opening rounds. Jack Solomons and Joe Jacobs, who promoted the fight, are in the audience. Miller's already got a badly cut eye and has hit the canvas twice. Here they come for the 10th and last round. Turpin hasn't thrown any of his famous killer punches so far, though there's no doubt he's well ahead on points. But now he cuts loose with a savage 1-2 that puts Miller down. Miller's got plenty of courage and he's up after a count of 8. But he's in a bad way and can't take much more. In comes Turpin to finish him off. Up against the ropes, Turpin throws a left and right and down goes Miller again. Painfully, Miller comes back for more. But the fight's over and Randolph Turpin is one step nearer the world's middleweight title.
It was at Gurroch Castle in Wales that Randolph Turpin trained for the big fight. And now the laurels of victory, the congratulations from the staff of the castle, and a special cake in the shape of a boxing ring. All these made his homecoming a pretty bright event. The new world champion, a happy but a very modest man, must have felt somewhat overwhelmed by the welcome in store for him at Leamington Spa. Congratulations came thick and fast, from the crowd and from his little son. Now from his mother, perhaps the most important of all. Tens of thousands packed the town square to greet the man who beat Sugar Ray. But when it came to speech-making, well...
Well, I'm not much at making speeches, but anyway, you all know what I mean, in my own language. Thanks a million.
Turpin's triumph was in a class by itself. For his mother, it must have been one of the happiest moments in her life.
In New York, Randolph Turpin and Sugar Ray Robinson meet for the first time since Randolph took the world middleweight title from Sugar Ray. As Turpin signs for the return match, betting favors Robinson, whose partisans claim he had an off night when Turpin beat him. But here's hoping Randolph will do it again. At the annual Sheriff's Rodeo.
Here's Randolph Turpin after his much-discussed defeat by Sugar Ray Robinson. It cost him the world middleweight title, but his gameness won the praise of all.
Well, to my people back home and all the British people, I'd like to know that I've done my best, but it seems that this time my best wasn't quite good enough. when the referee stopped the fight last night, I knew what I was doing, and, well, I knew that I was being down for a count of 7. It was a surprise, really, but it's no good arguing with the referee because his decision is final. I'm very sorry that I can't be taking the middleweight championship of the world back to England with me, but when I do go back, I'll be taking something a lot greater than the championship of the world. I shall be taking the good wishes of thousands of American people that was that show last night, and the people that I've met when I was over there.
Now let's hear what the winner has to say. What do you think of Turpin, Sugar?
As a fighter, Mr. Turpin is about one of the best that I've ever met. As a gentleman, he's a wonderful fellow. For those of you who haven't had the pleasure of knowing him, Randy is one of the most regular guys that you ever want to meet. I only hope that he'll have as enjoyable time here in America, in New York, as I had while I was in England. And I would love to have an opportunity to show him around here in New York City.
Randolph Turpin, who has been making headline news ever since he lost to Bobo Wilson in the States, comes back to Britain aboard the Queen Mary. Britain's middleweight champ won't talk much about his private life, but gives Pathé News an exclusive interview about his career.
Well, Randy, let's go back to this fight with Austin. What do you think about the decision?
Well, I think the decision was fair enough, and I knew myself that I had lost.
Do you think you can beat him if you have another go at him?
Yes, I think so, providing that I get on my own back and settle up first.
You're going back to New York to have another go at him? You're going to have another go at him in this country?
Well, all that is up to my manager.
It is reported in this country that you're going to retire from boxing and going to work on a farm. Is that right?
Farm work so just as hard as boxing. I have to leave that to my manager to decide.
But are you going to retire, Randy?
Well, you will have to retire sometime.
But you've got no intention of going at the moment?
Oh, no.
You're still in the boxing game?
I'm still in the boxing game, yes.
It is also reported that you have passed your peak in the fight game. What do you say about that?
Well, when anybody's any fighter down the route is when he's got loads of things on his mind for the fight, he's passed his peak before he gets in the ring.
And that's what was the problem in New York, is it?
No, I think so.
Now, can we say this, that when you get all your personal affairs cleared up, you'll be right back on form again?
I'll still be back on top.
Well, let's hope